So we're back here in the tiny house. Doors are all painted, trim is all done. So now it's time to tackle this railing. I've been kind of dreading this project ever since I started the mini house. It'd be alright if I had my wood shop back, but of course this is my old wood shop. And I have every woodworking tool known to mankind, but I have no access to them right now. They're all in storage. So I'm going to make this railing with some basic tools. Went yesterday and picked up some pine. That was a rip-off. There's 6 2x4s right there and 1 2x6, $178. Air-dried pine, not even all that great a quality. We're gonna get started with this strip that goes along here and hides this edge. It's gonna lap over the floor a little bit and hang down over the drywall a little bit with a bull nose. Be a simple project in a workshop on a nice table saw, but we're gonna do it outside in the snow with a handheld circular saw. Try it anyways. I'll get to it. So I think I'll rip it down to 5 inches to start with. Let's make it 74 inches long. So it's 1 3/4 inches by 5.5. Kind of an awkward size, but we'll whittle it down. This is some down and dirty woodworking right here. There, we've made a mess of that. Let's see if I can crack some of these off. Trying to find the best approach here. How's that for some rough woodworking? So if you're a woodworker, I have to warn you, what you're about to see could shock you and haunt you for the rest of your days. I'm going to clean this up with an angle grinder with a carving disc by eye. A lot of woodworkers are afraid to do anything by eye anymore. It's all CNC and fancy table saws. But in the end, if it's not something mechanical, it's only judged by eye, so why not build it by eye? Let's see what we can do. Go ahead, look down that. Tell me how straight it is. Okay, now we're switching tools again to the router. I'm gonna router the bull nose on the exterior edge. It's so bright out here. Almost going snowblind, but I can't find my safety glasses / sunglasses. So we'll just keep moving ahead until we lose an eye. Then we will regroup. I just got to notch it around this end, but I think this is actually going to look pretty good. Don't work half that, really. It's getting pretty fancy. One thing I've learned in life, never be too proud to use the wrong tool for the job. It saved a lot of walking. So this base piece is all done, all notched for the top post right there. Ideally I would have painted it before I screwed it down, but I'm going to go ahead and screw it down because the sawhorses are still outside and they're all yucky from the snow and the sawdust. That means I'll have to tape it and paint it in place, but I don't want to leave it unscrewed because I think it might cup after I put such a big dado on the back side of it. I'll paint it this afternoon for the same reason. Using these little structural screws, they're a beautiful thing. Except for the box. Eighth of an inch head. No pre-drilling. So they only leave you with about an eighth of an inch hole to fill in. Because this is all paint grade, works out perfect. We'll just put some spackling putty in there, hit it with sandpaper. Sadly, that's as far as we're going to make it today. Gotta bring all this stuff inside. They're calling for about a foot of snow over the next couple of days, so probably won't be able to work out here and clean up all this sawdust before it turns into a big mess. Hopefully I can do some inside stuff tomorrow, but I made some pretty good progress. I feel good about it. I've been worried about this for the last couple months. Didn't really have an official plan, but now I'm in the middle of it. It's coming together nicely. So it's a beautiful sunny morning. The snowstorm hasn't started yet. It's still calling for almost a foot of snow over the next 2 days. Not supposed to start till this evening, so we'll see how it goes. But it's minus 16 out right now. Not all that great for doing fine woodworking outside, but we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna get the 3 newels on the stairs themselves temporarily screwed in place, that way we can start laying out for the top rail. So I've had to do this a little different than you normally would. I put that first newel back from the end of the stringer. Usually you'd have it right out flush to the end, but I'm trying to maximize the distance between that newel and this wall for getting furniture around. So I decided to move it back to there. That gives about 36 inches, which is about the minimal you'd want. Might be a slight tripping hazard there, but For this top post, we got to do a little creative carving again. Got to take out the top of this 2x2 down flush with this. Man, that's a beautiful tool. So these are the spindles. These are the little mounting brackets, if you will. So a screw goes down through it, screw that onto the wood. This pushes into there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clamp one of these on each newel and set my railing right on there and mark it. That way I know exactly where it's got to be. Then we'll notch it accordingly. So now that I have these spindles clamped in place, just a matter of laying one of the pine 2x4 handrails on top of them, tracing the underside, and that'll give me the angle and the length to start the upper notch. I've been putting this off as long as possible, but now it's time. Gotta drag this saw back outside. Don't let that sunlight deceive you. It's bitter cold out there. I went ahead and notched the top two posts as well. Now that I've got them all notched, I can remove that temporary back fence and cut them all to length. So I've got the stair portion mentally under control. I gotta lay out these top two newels, figure out how to mount them. So that's where that newel is going to sit. And you can buy proper double-ended newel bolts. So yesterday I made a trip into town especially to get one. Of course they never had one in stock. And they're basically $50 for one bolt. So I decided to make my own for $3. Here's what I have. So it's a lag bolt on one end and a carriage bolt on the other, 5/16. Welded pretty solid, and then I flattened out two sides so I can put a wrench on it. It's not pretty, but it should be good and strong. Here's my situation. Ideally, I want that bolt right here, dead center of my post. But down underneath the floor, there's two joists. One here, one there. And so that's going to put it right on the seam, if everything worked out perfectly down below. But I'm going to try it anyways. It might get enough bite down between the two joists. They're all nailed pretty solid. I'll try it. If it doesn't get enough bite, I'll move it over this way a little bit. It'll all be hidden so I can afford to experiment a little bit. Should work. Didn't feel like much resistance down there, so I'm a little nervous. This is going to be a long process. Yeah, no worries there, that's solid as a rock. So we got this outer hole to go over top of that bigger weld joint. And then we got a 3/8 hole the rest of the way. Sadly though, it's slightly wandered off center. So that pushes our newel this way about 3/16 or 1/4 of an inch, but that's fine. So now we got to get a washer and a nut on that. Tighten it down so the hole is back farther, or the bolt is back farther than I wanted it to be. Just kind of wandered off center that way. So it's going to make it a little harder than I hoped. So what I can do here by holding the camera and the washer. So the washer was no issue. Now the nut. Got it on. Now see if a wrench will fit in there. Son of a mother. I've got to use the box end of the wrench with the 12-point socket on it to be able to turn the nut in such a tight spot. But the big hole is not quite deep enough for the box end to fit behind the nut. So I've got to take it apart, drill that hole probably a 1/4 inch deeper. Then I think it's going to work fine. I won't bother cranking that any tighter for now. It's all going to come off again. That's solid as a rock. Beautiful thing. Go ahead and fill those bad holes in now, just so it can dry for a bit. Welcome back to Wrong Tool for the Job, episode 4. So I've marked all the ends where to stop with the router bit. Now I've got to router these handrails, make them round on top. But it's a bit frustrating, I'm gonna have to do it inside. It's raining and sleet, snow outside and gross. So it's gonna make a big mess, but there's no way around it. I've got to break all this down, finish router in the top of these posts, and then sand everything, get it ready for paint. Starting to take shape. I almost missed a step before I started the big cleanup. I've got to drill out the stringers for these to bolt the newels on the side of the stringers. So I'm just drilling a shallow hole so those little T-nuts will fit in flush. Now we'll drill through from this side. Try not to wreck anything. So these little nuts will fit in there nice and flush. But I want to get some paint in there before they go in, because once they go in they can't come out with those dogs on there. So we'll clean this up and paint it. We'll get the paint brushes out and going. So now I'm going to go through and fill in all the little voids and defects with this spackling putty. We'll give that a little bit of time to dry, and then we'll take them outside and sand them down. Kills me to take them outside in this weather, but gotta be done. Moving ahead. So it's actually a new day. I got distracted yesterday and never got a chance to finish these. So I'm gonna move the sawhorses and everything outside. It's quite dry outside today, but really cold. It's minus 18 or minus 19 this morning. So I'm gonna leave everything just inside the door and just take one piece at a time and sand it down. Try to keep it as warm as possible because I want to paint it again right away. Fingers are frozen. Oh, there goes the sander. I don't know if there's any way to capture this on the camera or not, but this is after 2 seconds of hitting this with the sander. It's that smooth as glass. There's no burrs, it's just literally as smooth as glass. There's the other side. You can kind of still hear the texture. Now this should come up to a really nice finish when we put the final coat on there. Snow's starting to come down pretty good out there now. Calling for another foot between tonight and tomorrow morning. See, that really pulls that nut in. Feels like my fingers got fatter since the last time I done this. Too much pizza. I don't know why, but there's something oddly satisfying about tightening that one up. Here comes my help finally. winterly out there, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Eyebrows are frozen. So we're on what feels like day 79 of working on this railing. Last night we made some good progress. We put the spindles in up there, looked great. But then we noticed that this last newel right here is way off level, side to side, where there isn't really any built-in adjustment. And so the issue is, or stems from, this stringer is actually cupped or bowed right here. And that means where this is bolted on is not level. So then it just transfers right up the newel. And last night it was getting too late. I was getting frustrated, so we just walked away for the night. Then today we had the mother of all snowstorms on the go here. But now it's time to deal with it. And I'm gonna taper this notch right here a little bit. Try to compensate a little bit for the stringer being cupped. We won't get it perfect, I don't think, but we'll get it better anyways. We actually got that perfect. Start down here, I think. So we had the camera all set up perfectly to capture this last install. and the tripod squeezed the volume button on my phone and shut the camera off, so we got no footage of it. So we have no grand finale. But it's all done. Looks beautiful. We're actually wrapping it up again for the day now. Gonna go do some snow blowing. One thing I haven't talked about yet in this video is that this whole railing is designed to be removable. That's the reason why the fasteners are all exposed. That way if somebody has some bigger furniture to move up here someday, we can take off that lower section, or even this upper section if need be. Once again, thanks for watching, guys. Take care.